We call it learning, but they call it market acquisition. Imagine a business where the employees work 40 hours a week, perform high-stress tasks, and meet strict deadlines. But instead of getting paid, their parents pay the CEO for the privilege of their child's labor. That is the modern school system. You aren't a student. You are a product in a 20-year manufacturing cycle. The school is the factory, and the teachers are the floor managers, and the degree is the final stamp of approval before you are shipped off to the corporate market. Think about the structure, the bells that ring every hour to tell you when to move, the permission you have to ask just to handle basic human needs. This isn't education, it's industrial conditioning. They are training your internal clock to accept the 9-to-5 grind before you even know what a salary is. In a real business, if a product is defective, the factory pays. But in the school business, if you graduate and cannot survive, you pay. You pay in lost years, you pay in shattered confidence, you pay in the interest on the debt they convinced you was an investment. But there's a glitch in the machine. The factory is still producing parts for a world that stopped existing in 1995. Let me tell you my story. I followed every rule the factory gave me. I am a gold medalist fashion designer. I hold a master's degree from a prestigious university in London. I checked every box. I hit every metric. By the school's definition, I am their premium product. But the corporate world hasn't welcomed me. Why? Because I was trained to be the best student, not a fine corporate slave. The corporate market doesn't want the best. It wants the most predictable. Schools reward you for finding the correct answer. The answer, which is already written in the back of the book. But in the real world, there is no back of the book. I stood there with my distinction, my technical skills, and my portfolio, expecting a handshake. Instead, I found a brick wall. The corporate gatekeepers aren't looking for the spark of genius that earned me that gold medal. They're looking for someone who won't question the process. They look for a slave who knows how to format a spreadsheet, not a designer who knows how to reshape a vision. If you have a master's and you're still standing outside the gate, it's not because you failed, it's because you succeeded too well at being an individual. But let's be clear, I am not against knowledge. I am against the misplacement of it. True education is simple. It is reading, it is writing, and it is the common sense to navigate the world around you. That is a fundamental right, and every child on this planet deserves that foundation. But once you can read, write, and think, that is where the real curriculum must begin. Education should be the science of survival. Before we force a child into the abstract complexities of the 15th century history or advanced calculus, we should be teaching them the universal language, which is money. How do you build a business? How do you invest? How do you generate the capital to afford a life of independence? We have it backward. We treat money as a dirty subject, something you should only care about after you've spent 10 years serving someone else's company. It should be the other way around. Money fulfills basic human needs. It buys you the freedom to choose your own path. Everyone should be able to master the skill of creating their own income before they are encouraged to specialize in a technical field. If a child wants to be the next Einstein, let them be, but let them be an Einstein who can afford to fund their own lab. Let them be a scholar who is not a servant. We need to teach our children how to secure their lifestyle first so that when they do pursue their passions, they are not doing it out of desperation. They'll be doing it out of power. That is the education we owe the next generation. Let's look at the balance sheet. A business succeeds when its customers are happy, but a school business succeeds as long as the seats are full. They don't care if the job market is saturated. They don't care if your degree is obsolete before the ink dries. In the business world, this is called planned obsolescence. They sell you a bachelor's degree knowing it's no longer enough to get you a seat at the table. It's a low-tier subscription that they've intentionally devalued. Can't find a job? Maybe you need a master's? Still nothing? Try a PhD. They are upselling you on more education to fix the failure of the education they already sold you. It is the only business in the world that can fail to deliver its primary promise, which is a career, and then blame the customer for not buying enough of the product. They hide behind the prestige of the institution name, while the actual value of what they teach is depreciating faster than a new car off the lot. Parents, you are the investors in this fraud. You pay the tuition, you pay the fees, you support the lifestyle, believing you are buying your child a future, but you are actually paying for your child to work for free. Every essay, every exam, every unpaid internship is labor that the school uses to maintain its ranking and its business model. Your child is an employee who pays for their own desk. Think of the capital, the thousands of pounds poured into an education. If that money were placed in a high-growth index fund or used as a down payment on a business, your child would be a stakeholder in the economy by 25. Instead, they are a candidate. While schools are expanding their business models on your investment, your child is trying to figure out how to write a CV that sounds compliant enough for an entry-level gatekeeper. You didn't buy them a ladder. You bought them a very expensive place in a very long line. The veil is off. The school business relies on one thing: your belief that you need them more than they need you. That is the final lie. You have the skills, you have the brilliance, you just need to stop looking for a welcome from a system that was designed to exploit you. We aren't asking for a seat at their table anymore, we are building our own. This is not just a video, it is a resignation from the system. The shift starts now. Stay vigilant.